don't know what to do with the situation.
Mm-hmm.
But like the more often I got encounters with them, I also told you earlier a couple of stories that I had
Yeah.
quite a few encounters with the police already, and they want to charge me for stuff. But at some point, as you said, you start to understand that why they do this, so that they're also, let's say, they're not bad people. And in the end of the day, even after they try to charge you for stuff, in the end, I laugh with them. It doesn't feel like they're really like trying to be a bad person. It's just like they're trying to survive as well.
Today I'm really happy to have a guest, a German. Do you like being called German? Or is kind of...
You can say Eritrean is fine.
Right?
Yeah, Eritrean is good.
All right. So you gotta tell us a bit of his background. My name is Gideon. I'm a realtor here in Nairobi, and we're gonna be having a discussion. I don't want to say the name of my guest, so you can tell you yourself. Welcome, my brother.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, just to give you a short intro for you guys, my name is Marvin. I moved 2 years ago from Germany to Kenya.
Yes.
And this mainly with the purpose of doing business here on the continent or in Kenya specifically.
Yeah.
And since then, went through a lot of challenges, figured a lot of things out, learned about the culture.
Yeah.
And I'm quite happy to be here. And thank you for having me in the interview as well.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, this guy he's a Kenyan because he was just talking to me in Swahili. I'm like, oh man, this guy is really stayed here for long. So, Marvin, so what do you do actually in Kenya? Let's get to that, and then I'll ask other questions. But what do you do in Nairobi? Not that you're living in Nairobi, but what do you do in Nairobi?
For a living, yeah?
Yes.
You mean? Yeah, so mainly for living, my work is mainly based online. Yeah, so I work basically with different companies in terms of their marketing and business strategy. So I used to work with a couple of Kenyan startups, but also with a company from Uganda, but also have clients in Europe still.
Oh.
Yeah, this is my main base in Germany, but like slowly it's picking up here in Kenya too.
Yes.
This means like helping them with making sales, advertisements, building out the websites, with just building out their business strategy in terms of marketing mainly.
Oh, okay, all right. Awesome. So, Marvin, be honest. What were your first impressions of Nairobi?
No, honestly, I enjoyed a lot because before I came to Nairobi, I went to Uganda twice.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if you've been to Uganda, but Uganda, let's say, is also a beautiful country.
Yeah.
But it's not as developed as Kenya. So when I came the first time to Kenya, I felt like I was, I don't know, in New York or something. It was just really properly developed, built out a lot. So I felt comfortable from day one, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice place.
So do you want to mean there was not a very big cultural, not even a cultural, there's not, you didn't have to do a lot to get accustomed to what you used to be living, I'd rather think.
Yeah, let's say I'm used to African culture as well, but because I grew up in Germany most of my life, things are very different still. So even if I know the culture and stuff, to live in Kenya, for instance, is a very, very big change still for me, you know? So like, I just see myself when I came here the first time and I saw like professional looking people, like, how do you call it, like crossing the highways and stuff, you know, climbing over stuff to get to the buses and stuff like this. So it was just, there's like things you never saw in your life before, you know?
Like somebody that time and is jumping the road.
There was a lady
like the rail guards to get on the other side.
Yes. You know, like to see things like this, it's different also to get to used to, like, this is something funny, but like to get to used to the systems, the customs, how people like do business here, how people talk, how people interact with each other. So there's a lot of things you need to get used to.
Yeah.
But I think for me it was quite quickly because I just dived in fully, completely from the first day, I would say.
I know we can't answer this. So what are the other cultural? I've never thought about it. Like someone in a suit who is jumping the rail. Together, and that's really normal. Yeah.
Yeah, it's normal.
Or a motorbike coming the other way around.
Yes. Yeah. So it's like all of these things, they are normal here now after living here for 2 years. But even when I bring now new people and I show them around Nairobi and Kenya.
Yeah.
They're also like wondering what is happening. Why is this professional looking lady with like her suitcase and stuff like climbing over these fences to get to her work, you know? So it's like, it's like you need to get used to stuff like this. But at some point you get used to matatus, to borders, to things like this happening, to go into CBD and stuff like this. Yeah.
I do imagine it's a sensory, like your senses really come to life, like when you come to Nairobi, right?
Yeah, the first time you are conscious, you're looking at everything. It's like everything is new, everything is different for you. So you really have to be, let's say, you are aware of the environment and everything you see is like not strange, but like different, you know?
Yeah.
So you're observing a lot, and it's also tiring, to be honest. In the first couple of weeks and months, because everything is new.
Yeah.
like you go outside, you see all these things,
Yeah.
and it tires you as well, because it's like you need to adjust to everything first off. Yeah.
So can you imagine going to downtown Nairobi? Now this is two higher, like it's 2 levels higher. The sensory, like the cultural, the stuff that is gone. Because even me, for a local person, when I go to downtown Nairobi, like you have to mentally prepare yourself. So have you been to downtown Nairobi?
Well, many times. For me now, like, so you mean CBD? Yeah.
Yes, CBD, and then the lower areas now, where there's matatu, everyone is there.
Yeah. I went everywhere basically. In the beginning, when I came here first, locals told me to be careful and not to go to certain areas, to sort certain streets there in the CBD, or like even behind this.
Yeah.
And I was listening, but at some point, because I went there more often, I checked out, bought some stuff there, whatever. I met with a couple of people there. I felt more confident, and so I was like, what were they talking about? So I just explored, I walked everywhere through the CBD.
Yeah.
I even took a matatu from the CBD local bus station, where it's like just busy.
Yeah.
I was driving like this for 2 hours to Nakuru, to Naivasha, for instance. So the beginning is very, very tiring, and it's tough because you don't know where to go to, and like you feel like everybody's looking at you.
Yeah.
But now I'm used to it, so now I can just walk there normally and like do my stuff regularly. So I even go to Eastleigh a couple of times.
Oh,
so for me, it's normal, you know. It's normal, it's normal.
You have, there's really nasty one Kenyans. Yeah. I don't want to mention it. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, guys, it's a complaint, yeah. Man, I don't know if I should say. Like, like men here in Kenya, like as a guy, if you feel like going to the bathroom, like in some places, Kenya, once you see a wall, you do your thing. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Like someone can just go to the bathroom on the wall, and it's a very cultural African culture.
Oh yes.
That's something like that really. I led it. I feel it's really. Does that shock you?
No, not really, to be honest. Yeah.
Really?
No. I traveled a lot before I came here as well. So from, I think, quite early, because I was working early, I could travel early because I saved up some money here and there. So I saw different things around the world. So for me, it's still different to live in a place, but like to see things like this happening, it's like you get adjusted. Even you do things like this.
Yeah. So now that's when you become a local.
Like at some point you don't care anymore, and then you just adjust it. Like it doesn't matter anymore.
Earlier we were talking about some of the other issues, like when your first time meeting cops here in Kenya, and we are trying to say the differences between a cop in Kenya and probably a cop in Germany or in the States. So I was trying to tell you, here in Kenya it's different. These guys are maybe frustrated. They're just looking for something. So what did you say about? What did you?
Yeah, I mean the first time I met a cop, and like they tried to charge me for something, or like whatever this case was. It's first off a bit like you don't know what to do with the situation. But like the more often I got encounters with them, I also told you earlier a couple of stories that I had. Quite a few encounters with the police already, and they want to charge me for stuff. But at some point, as you said, you start to understand that why they do this, so that they're also, let's say, they're not bad people. And in the end of the day, even after they try to charge you for stuff, in the end, I laugh with them. It doesn't feel like they're really like trying to be a bad person. It's just like they're trying to survive as well. In the end of the day, you know? So things happen, but after everything is discussed and it's done, then it's like you shake each other's hands, and then it's like you're laughing together, and then it's like have a wonderful day. Looking forward to see you again, you know? So it's like at some point it's okay. You get used to it.
I usually tell someone, I'm not telling people to shake and stuff. No, you know what I mean, yeah. But what I'm trying to say is, I feel like when I'm talking to experts, and so when you say a cop is arresting you here, it's not because of racial. Probably it is racial because they're seeing your friend, but they're not seeing you as. From them, it's coming from a place of frustration. You can imagine being a cop. I was telling you, probably you're being paid $200, $300 a month to guard citizens. You have 5 kids. You're gonna have frustrations. You're gonna look just as a fellow human being. You're gonna look for places where you can get something extra. So I usually tell someone, when you come, if you have a different mentality, it's not that they're trying to take you to the police station. They're just trying to sometimes to survive. You look at it differently. You talk to them differently. It's not like when let's say in the States, a cop is telling you to stop because you're black. It's not the same, right? What are some of the cultural differences for an expert who is coming? You're like, this took a little bit of time.
Let's say for me it was quite quick. But for instance, I love Kenyans a lot. They're very beautiful, nice people. But for instance, let's say, for me, coming from Germany, I had a conversation last time with also a friend from Germany, but also Eritrean. And we talked about, let's say, Germany is very efficient. So let's say I go to a restaurant, and I think one server can take care of like 20 tables, and no one's waiting for nothing, for instance. So they're very quick and very efficient.
Yes.
Yeah. And here in Kenya, they're nice. You can talk to them, but it just takes, let's say, longer. It's slower. You know, things are slower. Sometimes you need to help them even with stuff. And you said even it's understandable. I know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
But just when you come here the first time, I just look at the people I bring here. I be like, how do they react? You know, because sometimes it takes like 30 minutes to get the bill or something. You know. Yeah. So I'm wondering like, what are they doing? Did they forget or like? So this is one thing I would say. I mean, Matatus. It's also like a big different culture. Yeah,
that's a whole different.
Different in culture.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's something you need, especially when you drive. You need to get used to them as well. I remember
driving.
Driving. Especially when I was here the very first time, I came here with my uncle to check out like how Nairobi and Kenya is in general and stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember I wasn't driving back then. He was driving the whole time, and for him it was like just both hands on the wheel, and he was just like stressed. And Matatus coming right from all the sides and blocking him. He was like stuck somewhere, and it was similar for me when I drove here the first time. But at some point, you get used to the driving culture and stuff like this as well.
How is the driving? Because that's hectic in Kenya. It's hectic, but you kind of get used to it, right?
Yeah, it's maybe hectic for the first 2 or 3 weeks, and at some point, by now, like driving here for I think a year and a half or something, over a year.
You're a crook now. You're a crook driver.
Yeah.
You become Kenyan.
Yeah, I'm
bumper to bumper.
Yes, I'm same like the Matatu drivers.
Yeah,
it's not as bad, but like almost like them, you know. So you don't care anymore. Like there are people passing the street. There, like Matatus coming from everywhere, borders, bicycle riders, whatever.
Yeah.
So at some point, it's normal for you. You know, the stress level is like normal. It's like I would drive in Germany the same way now.
So I was driving an expert, a lady, and so you're passing somewhere, and there was a lady who had a log. She was carrying stuff, and she was like, "Why not waiting for that lady to pass?" Like, you know, you haven't been in Kenya for long enough, because you know, even Kenyans, even pedestrians will actually do the most dumbest. Let's be honest.
They don't care.
Like you're also driving, and then someone just decided to drivers and pedestrians. So, and no one gets mad.
Yeah, it's okay. Everybody accepts it, you know. I have also like an interesting story. Like I think last year November, there came someone to visit, and I picked them up from the airport. And you know, when you pick someone up from the airport, there's this, I don't know what it's called, but like this zebra crossing, I think. Yes, at some point. Yeah. And there was someone passing, and I didn't wait for the person because
you've already on your.
I'm almost passing them quickly, so it's for me it was normal, and for me it was like, what are you doing? He was like shocked. He was like shocked, and it's happened again at some point. Yeah. He was like, oh my. He was like, please, I have kids at home. Please don't kill me here, you know. So for them it's a big shock, you know. But it's said you have to get used to it, and then you understand. Okay, you have to drive like this, otherwise you will take 2 hours longer to get anywhere.
Yeah. Even the pedestrian understands when you've passed on his side, you are good to go. Yeah, you don't even have to wait. Like, someone will be actually be shocked, like, why are you standing? Why are you waiting for me to pass and I'm on this side? Yeah. Let's go and then I'll.
Yeah, it will be okay at the end of the day. Yeah, but you get used to it at some point. But for new people I bring here, it's always funny. Just another anecdote to this. My family was here also in August. Like, a lot of them. Yeah. And I took them like on a trip through the whole country. And it was the first time for them like being in Africa for a long time since they left Eritrea. Yeah. And so for them it was also like, what is happening here? Why are we driving like this?
So for all intents, they are like foreigners in Africa.
Yeah,
for all intents and purposes.
Foreigners. And we were 10 in the bus, like 5 kids, 5 adults, like and then plus me. Yeah. And for all of them, they were like, please tell the driver to slow down. Please don't tell him not to like pass people on the highway and stuff. I was like, please. We have to do it like this.
Like this is how you works.
Yeah. But for them it was like fearing their life. But at some point they understood. But still, with the kids and stuff in the car, they were like, "We have to leave now. Please, can you drive? Tell the driver that you are driving." You know, they want me to drive basically.
The shock is you'll drive even worse. Maybe even actually drive worse like that. This is how it's done.
Yeah, correct. So, but you get used to it. You get used to it.
Awesome. I want us to go to housing, but let me ask now that you're talking about taking guys. So, how's the food here? How is the food in Kenya? Be honest. Don't sugarcoat it. Just
no. It's I would say it's very nice. Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's very nice. Let's say from the perspective of someone who comes from Germany, let's say things are quite cheap. Yeah, for good quality of food. Let's say you go to restaurants, you can spend a fair amount of money and still get a very good quality of food. Of course, you also have different places, but let's say overall quality is very good because things I like to consume like also fresh things. I eat everything, but like I also like to, let's say bananas are they have to be from Kenya. There's like vegetables I only eat if they're from Kenya because I see some things that Kenyans have, but they also import. So I see that the things here locally are very fresh. So I like the quality of food. I would say it's nice.
Is there a difference? Like I hear people saying, is there a difference between the organic food here and the same sort of food there?
So let's say, to be honest, in Germany, I was not really focused too much on my diet. I was just eating to eat, and I was just working a lot. But let's say the quality over there is also very good in Germany because they have a lot of regulations, quality control, and stuff like this. But I was also staying in the States for a year, the US, and I would say the quality there is like, I don't know, 10 times worse or something.
Wow.
You know, just by eating the same things, they are much worse. More
Processed
sugar, more processed. There's so much things to make you also addicted to the food. At least what I saw, and as well as like I from this time I was staying there, I also gained like what I don't know the perfect English term, but it's like I cannot take milk anymore and bread that good because when I was staying there, somehow I don't know what was in this product, but since then I have problems consuming milk, for instance, from the States. And before I had this never in Germany, I never had this somewhere else in any other country. So I think, let's say Germany also has a good quality of food, but I think in Kenya it's just more fresh. Yeah, because it's grown locally or like in neighboring countries. But compared to the US, at least for my time there, I think quality here is much better.
What I do know, and I feel like, especially the international, I don't want to say international, the international food scene is very okay in Nairobi because there are a couple of restaurants.
You have everything.
Yeah, but the local food, what about the local food itself?
You mean the very local food from the street food?
Not even the street food is not even a local food. I don't know why people get this. That's a sausage and what is it? A chapati. Chapati is actually Indian.
No, it's a mix.
So local food is even Githeri local. So Githeri, Mokimo. You know what's Mokimo?
Mokimo, I don't know, to be honest.
The smashed potatoes with green.
Oh yes. Okay, I had this.
So I usually have these. I usually tell people Kenyan local food is very bland, but it's very nutritious. And even the vegetables and stuff. Even in terms of Africa, I mean, when West African comes in Kenya, say your food is really bland, man.
Yeah, it is.
But it's usually very healthy.
Yeah, that's true. It's healthy. But I like it. I eat a lot like ugali.
It's an acquired taste.
You get used to it, and then at some point I like it actually. I eat it every now and then. But it's true that it's sometimes a bit blunt. There's sometimes that you don't use salt and stuff.
We don't do a lot of seasoning.
No seasoning. But I heard that in some cultures, I think it's because it's more healthy to not use salt and stuff like this. I'm not sure where it's coming from, but that's what I heard here.
There's I think where it comes from, especially I'll talk from where I come from, the Gema, is Meru, Kikuyu, Embu. I don't know why, but I used to think we had really good food until I also went other parts of the country. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like these guys really have, like if you go to Western Kenya, the Luos, the food is unbelievable. Coast province takes it on. But in some parts of the places, you just have beans and maize and potatoes.
Yes.
And that's it. There's just a little bit of salt and that's it. Okay, guys, I'm not just eating. We do have some other stuff, but you know what I mean.
But I like it's nice. It's nice food. It's like simple, but it's still. I like. There was one time I think for a couple of weeks straight I was eating only ugali with kuku with chicken, with what is called skuma spinach. And this I was eating I think for 5-6 days for a couple of weeks straight every single day because it's nice, it's easy, it's quick, and it was affordable. You know, it was taste wise. I like. Actually,
you say chicken. It's not even that. Chicken is a luxury. So it's usually skuma, cabbage, and ugali.
Yes. But I also had it with just ugali, skuma, and beans. For breakfast or something. You know, when I go out for lunch or something.
So let's talk about cost of living. I think we are on its own. Housing. Let me tell you guys, I'm not gonna say where you live, obviously, but you guys are living the life, bro. So it's nice. So cost of living, how does it compare to? I don't want to compare. What do we compare? You can compare it to New York or Germany as well.
Yeah. So let's say Germany is cheaper than New York, like 10 times.
All
so
right.
anyways, New York is very expensive.
Yeah.
Let's say cost of living compared to Germany, you save a lot of money. Let's say, I would say minimum, especially like eating out and stuff, renting an apartment and stuff is much cheaper. And not just about the price, also let's say even if I could pay the same price as I do in Germany, let's say we go from a base of let's say $1,000 or something. Here in Kenya for $1,000 I can get if I look really for an apartment, I can get a 5-bedroom house with a garden like here, like our place for instance, like less than $1,000.
Yeah. In
Germany most of the time you get a 2-bedroom in like an apartment building.
Yes.
And it's like not the best location and stuff.
Yes.
Like, depending where you live. Big cities, very tough. Smaller towns you can get a central one, but then it's like a small town, you don't have much. So overall I would say it's much cheaper, and even you can spend the same amount of money or even more because it's easy to spend money here. But even then I think the quality you get for everything, the services, the food, the apartments, the whatever you spend your money on activities is just much higher, and you have more out of these things, I would say. And then New York you can forget anyways. New York was said I luckily had a place to stay. I didn't have to pay any rent. So this was the biggest portion of money you spent there, I think. But just from the ones I lived with, I think the apartment was around like $3,000.
Oh, that's a lot.
And this was a small 1-bedroom apartment, or 2-bedroom, sorry, 2-bedroom apartment, but the kitchen was like small. The rooms were small, bathroom was okay sized. And then also in a high apartment building, you have to take a train to go to the city center or whatever. So it's, and then eating out, you can eat out, I don't know, for minimum $30 per meal or something, $20 per meal. And this is the cheap option, you know. You can eat for $500, or like let's say if you go out, let's say we would go out, you can spend on one evening just getting drinks, food for like $100 minimum. Minimum. If you want to do activities, you have an event you go to, you spend more and more. So that's very expensive.
It's very expensive.
Yeah, but New York is also, you compare to the I think third most expensive or something. You know?
I don't even like to compare Nairobi with New York because those are two different. They're extremely two different. So for like in Kenya, you can imagine with $3,000, if you're renting a house, you'd probably be living with the UK or Germany ambassador, right?
Yeah.
Like seriously.
Yeah.
I don't even think they pay that much, really.
No, I know some they do. Honestly, when I was moving in this apartment here, we got a lot of stuff from other people that like had to leave the country and stuff because they buy new stuff. They buy it very expensive, but because they have to leave now, because they would UN embassy, they have to leave in the next 2 months or something. They need to sell everything. So we found a lot of them, and through this I saw like where they lived. Some of them were living in Gigiri, for instance, in Runda, and I think they had like compounds that were like, I don't know, very huge, big houses on it, and they were spending $3,000, but they're also getting like support from the embassy, from the UN, from whatever.
It's being paid for.
They partially, and then they just add like another $500 for it. So it's, or $1,000 for it, but they pay. They also pay.
Of course. Which makes sense because equivalently, if you stayed in the same place in New York, you'd be paying. For this place. So just for reference, then you guys, one of the things that really fascinates me where you're staying is they have avocado trees and bananas. So when they season, you just go and
the unfortunate thing, bananas I cannot touch.
Because that's for the neighbor,
It's
right?
for the landlord, He lives here above us, He told us take avocados. We have also like the berries here that grow here. We have pili growing here as well. So we have a lot of stuff like different herbs as well growing. We can touch everything, but bananas are not ours. But the rest is nice. We have the avocados are still falling, even when we were in the garden.
The actually one fell. I'm like, that thing follows on your head. You gotta have a concussion or something.
So we have free supply of avocados. So it's beautiful to have a option for a garden like this. Is just to go back to the comparison. In Germany, I said you have a 2-bedroom apartment for the same price or even more depending on the city where you live. And you're like in the middle of the city, congested. It's like small, it's cold, and you don't have any space. Maybe a very small balcony you can like, go outside to, But here, for this price, you get like a big garden with all these different kinds of fruits and herbs growing here. So it's very. You cannot compare the quality you get. Said even if the price you can pay the same price, but the quality on one side here in Kenya is much higher, I would say.
You mentioned something. People usually have like Kenyans will like comparison videos. Cape Town and Nairobi. I actually do think Cape Town is way developed. Actually, from what I've heard, is way developed than most African cities. and you still had a choice between Cape Town and Kenya, and Nairobi rather, right?
Yeah.
What makes Nairobi? Why with all Cape Town has probably better infrastructure, probably better everything in terms of a lot of stuff, but you still choose Nairobi. What about Nairobi makes you?
Yeah, in the end of the day, it's the same thing as why I picked Kenya over Germany, because Germany also has a better infrastructure. It's more developed. It has everything you need to live.
Yes.
And I think the same with Cape Town. I was there for a month, a month and a half this year, to visit, to meet some people there, to do some stuff.
Yes.
And during this time, I felt it was a nice thing to be there. But even if it's more developed, they have different problems, you know? They have different problems. So it's not always about development. It's also about, like, let's say, security was a bigger concern there. Let's say inequality is a bigger problem there. There's it's a beautiful place, really beautiful, like with the nature they have. The people were very beautiful, nice people there. But in the end of the day, I just feel very comfortable here in Kenya, like in Nairobi. And for me, Cape Town, I can go to all the time, and maybe in a couple of years, I can think of staying there for a little bit, for a year, for 2 years, depending on like where I am in life. But I would say for me, Nairobi is just like, you have everything you need, and I don't have to live in Cape Town. It's beautiful, and also one of the things I like more about Kenya is that it's also a bit more African, you know?
That's what for me that would be the
So Cape Town is more like, even if it was nice to see something like this because I'm used to it from Germany. But when you think about it, it's more like a European city or something. It feels like it at least. You know?
It feels like a European city.
By the people, by the things you have there, by infrastructure, you feel like you're really. I was in Germany when I was in Cape Town. Like it felt like this at least, you know. So that's why I like Nairobi a bit personally better, you know. Personally.
I feel like Nairobi is a mix between a bit of modern and tradition. If there's something that can be in the middle, that would be much.
I think so too. It's a mix of both you have here, you know. It's very developed here as well, like compared to many other like cities and countries I've been to. But it still has like a lot of culture, a lot of just more culture. I think what makes it, for me personally, more comfortable to stay here because I like the culture. I like to dive into new things and stuff like this. And I said Cape Town is just modern, very modern. In the end of the day, you can be in a city in Europe somewhere and you don't. There's no difference.
There's no difference. Do you feel as an expat you get? I kind of feel like expats will actually get a better, more. I don't know how can I put it, like a better. I do think you guys are treated better than locals. Let's be honest. I mean, Nairobi is a bit of a tourist city, so.
Let's say yes, 100%. They see you differently. I see it every time as well. Let's say when I bring, or like let's say I bring some people to my house here, like friends of mine or something from Germany or from wherever. What I observe here sometimes when they leave alone, let's say we have a barrier before you enter. I think you have a barrier, for instance. I see Kenyans get asked when they enter, my friends, because they are also mixed. They are like lighter color Africans. There are some white, like white people. They enter without questions. That's something we talked about earlier as well. You get like a better treatment because they just. I'm still figuring out exactly why this is, but I'll
tell you why.
You tell me why. But what I assume is just not that they think we are, or like foreigners are superior, but like it's just it draws them maybe more to them because they think, let's say, there's maybe more money they can get from them, maybe more tips they can get from them, maybe more. They see them like in a little bit of a different position, I think. Yeah.
I usually tell people, so there's usually this notion, Kenyans treat foreigners, and sometimes when people say foreigners, white people, like someone who's different, better than locals. The thing is, I usually tell people, it's not that they treat you better, is that Kenyans love money. They're cunningly, we do love money. Let's just be honest about it. So anytime they see you, they put, it's a foreigner for them means either more tips, more money, more opportunities.
Yes.
Right? There's this, I think you've seen this passport, blah, blah, blah. This has been back and forth. And there's this lady was saying, you know, the ladies, they're seeing, Kenyan ladies seem good, but when that money runs out, that's when you really... It's the money. So when people say Kenyans treat foreigners or white people or African, they treat African Americans better, what they actually really mean is that Kenyans worship money. Let me just put it bluntly.
Makes sense.
So when they see you, they are like, this guy, if I treat him well, if I treat him better, there's a chance maybe he gives me a tip. That's sort of, it's not, there could be a bit of that colonialism, but the biggest part of it is they see you as an opportunity.
Yes.
And that's why I tell experts, when you come here, don't complain of where you're coming from, because probably where you're coming from, there might be issues, racism, blah, 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 but you have opportunities. Here in Kenya, you might be happy, but people don't have opportunities. So anyway, so let me just on the housing bit. So how did you find this place, and what was the journey to finding this house?
Okay, so this is actually the second place I'm staying in properly. I was in a different apartment in Levington for the first 6 months or something, I think.
An expat bubble. It's an expat.
Yeah. But I was new. I had to find a place somehow. I found it via Facebook, I think, back then. Just in like different Facebook groups. So then it was time for me to move, because it was a furnished apartment, and they're generally more expensive than like the unfurnished ones. And it was time. I knew I was going to stay here long term. So then I actually went the same process. So I posted into a couple of Facebook groups, and from there I got like a bunch of agents, and all these agents were like sending me like, it's like we have 100 different houses, apartments for you and stuff. Sorry.
No, it's alright.
Yeah, so from there on I had like a good picture of like what the pricing actually could be, because they were also competitive, because they saw like many people are competing for this, getting this deal basically. So this is how I started. I checked out a couple of them with like those agents, and then there was one agent, and I also found on Facebook actually. And the pictures of this house here looked actually very bad, but we just saw the outside area. We saw the garden, the terrace and stuff, but the inside, the pictures were not clear. So we still were like in the area here, we were in Loresho, so not too far away from here. So we were like, let us just check it out anyways. So we saw it once, and then we were like, it's perfectly fine. It's the place we're gonna take. That's like if this sums it up.
I usually tell someone the best way to just find your way to Kenya, even if it's gonna be an Airbnb, just find your way to Nairobi, and then from then get a local someone to just show you the different places, so that you can go and check out. There are some places which, as you said, they look very nice on pictures, but we actually go there, it's like no. And some other places actually are like but when you go there, like, this place is very homely.
It's like the pictures here are like not telling the truth sometimes, because people take sometimes their photos with their phones and like are just shaking and stuff, so it looks not nice, or not like, let's say, not like it actually looks. And and just to touch on the point as well, you said like with like just come to Kenya first. I was also in the first I think 10 days or something, 2 weeks, 10 days. I was also in Airbnb. And from there I wanted to figure out first what area I want to move in for the first couple of months.
Very true. Very true.
Because
so Airbnb, and then get somewhere, even if short term, and then I'll really figure out where can I really.
So you always go a bit cheaper. Airbnb is more expensive than like getting a short term rental offline.
And then furnished is more, and then now too.
This
is not you furnish it.
Yes, we furnish everything.
Which is way.
Long term, it's on long run, it's much cheaper.
Much cheaper.
Yeah, because let's say in the apartment in Levington was a 2-bedroom apartment, and I think was the first proper apartment I rented. So I think we paid $700 or something for 2-bedroom furnished in Levington.
Furnished.
Furnished.
Oh, that's actually really cheap.
Really cheap, but let's say compared to what I found now, it's still quite expensive.
Yes, compared to this.
Unfurnished 5-bedroom garden, everything is you have a lot of space, and now it's like around $900. So like you go cheaper, and this one we can share because we have just a lot of space here. So
you can cohabit and
rent goes down for you in the end of the day.
So guys, if you're looking for a house, look for me. So now let me ask you this. Something that actually isn't talked about as much. I kind of feel like you already have a community of experts that you can, because I usually feel like you need 2 communities for you to live in Nairobi. You need an expert community, that people who understand you, and then now you need the local community, sort of guys to show you around and stuff. How is it? What's your community here in Kenya?
So I have actually like a very big community. So it's like mixed with everything. I have a lot of foreigners, but I also have a lot of Kenyans, like I know from my early days. So the thing is how I actually got into this community. So there were 2 ways for me. First off, I said I was alone for the first 2 months. Yeah. So I went just to a lot of events. I was like, okay, let me I need to network. I need to figure out what can I do here in this country? Where do I meet the right people? What can I learn about Kenya? I'm doing business here, living here and stuff.
Yeah.
So I went to a lot of networking events, business events, and also different kinds of events just to meet people. So I met, a lot of them were locals, but I also met a couple of foreigners there, but like mainly locals. So that's how I grew my first local network. And then the thing is also, for the local network, I started making TikTok videos actually when I came here first. So I was,
oh really?
I was telling my story. I was like sharing the journey. I just moved to Kenya. I furnished my apartment, blah, blah, blah. I moved in, whatever.
Yeah.
And from there, I think in the first 1 week, I think I gained like 8,000 followers or something, 1 million views, and Kenyans were messaging me, all of them. So like I had like, they came to me, so this helped me a lot, and they were like, let me just take you around. And from there, I met up with a couple of people. They took me around, and from there we just bonded, and like we did a lot of things up to today still, you know.
Yeah.
And to get into the expert network, I mean, you know, like for the immigrants, foreigner network, whatever, however you want to call it.
Yeah.
I think once you get into meeting the first couple of people, they bring you into their own community, you know.
Yeah.
So from when I met the first couple of people that they say he's a big event manager, let's say, I know, like doing very cool events, and she brought me to the events where, like, let's say the British have their community meeting.
Yeah.
Then there's whatever summit there was, he was like, just come here, you will meet cool people, and once you're in this community, they will be like, hey, you want to come to this event, you want to come to this event. So it actually goes much quicker if you need to be open for it, you know. You cannot come to Kenya or like to whatever country and be like, I want to live here, but I don't want to meet people too much, or I don't want to be like outgoing too much and stuff like this. Because when you're open here, I think Kenyans are very much open, very friendly, very welcoming. And the same with the foreigners that come here. They're also, I think, they're more open than what they are in the country, their own countries.
Yes.
But you also need to be like receptive, be open, like talk to them, you know. I go to cafes and I talk to every stranger.
Yeah.
There's someone sitting next to me, I'd be like, hey, how are you today? Like, how's everything? I heard some things, what are you doing here? Actually, you know? So we talk, and 2 years later I still talk to them. So it's like being open.
So it's not even exactly just a German expat community. There's just expats from whatever.
Everything. Like, not even you mainly. The thing is, for me, when I came in first, I met up with a couple of Germans just to understand like how their process was and stuff. But I was never really keen to be like, I want to be part of the German expert community, you know.
Yeah.
For instance, there's the German what is it called, the business association. So there's a meeting up with them like every couple of months. This is something I signed up for but it's for business insights and meeting German and foreign businesses basically. But overall, I was never focused on like meeting only Germans or something. I don't like this. If I'm here in Kenya, I don't want to be like in my own bubble.
But yeah,
it's
because there's also that. I kind of feel like there's that sort of expat who comes in Kenya and just live in the expat bubble, and it's very easy, right?
It's easy. I mean, it works. It also depends on the type of person you are, you know. But for me, it's like I wanted to fully dive in, and if I'm just staying with the Germans, I will never understand enough about the country to do actually business and to live life and like to understand the different parts that bring the country together, let's say, you know? So it's very, I think, important, as you said, like to have a couple, like just meet locals as well, because they're also like very nice people, very friendly people. And then you can still figure out like and meet some foreigners that also can. They help you with your
enjoy
journey
both worlds.
It's okay. You're not limited to just with your own people or like one of these sides.
But on the other side, even on the local, when you mix it, you need also to be kind of careful. Because you might be taken advantage. So how do you navigate that?
So let's say,
because most people are the social, for instance, the locals, the social economic class is very different. So for the expats, it's slightly easier to mingle with them because you guys are sort of in the same social economic class. But for the locals, that might be different. So how do you? But it doesn't mean, you know what I mean, yeah? I'm not saying the locals, but there's a social economic difference, especially the locals. So how do you navigate that?
So let's say that's very true, first off. So I think sometimes it's easier to connect with foreigners because it's like you're somehow like in the same way like of thinking and similar mindset, you know how things and struggles are there, how life is here, whatever. But let's say the people I met here, I said I mainly met them like I picked them also carefully because I had experience going to African countries, and I know that people want to take advantage of you sometimes. And as I said, even again, I understand where this is coming from, so I'm not mad about it or whatever. You just need to understand and, like, let's say, have some empathy, and you don't have to necessarily spend time with these people. But what I did is that when I went to these events, these were all young people or like older people, whatever, like Kenyans, that were also business minded. So they're working on their startups, they were working on different kinds of projects, they had their business, they had something. So I was just, anyways, to trying to.
It's still your, like, the same tribe.
It's my space, it's still my space, my tribe, whatever, you want to call it. Just with local Kenyans, even when they like maybe had a little bit less money or like were still figuring out their business, but I was also figuring out my business stuff. So at least I could get to know the landscape through them, and like we still could talk about like different businesses we could do. They help each other with whatever stuff it is. So it's like you need to figure out
your tribe.
Who are you? Who are you? And then
you'll figure out your tribe.
Find your own people. Like if you like to read, whatever, go to book clubs. You find nice kind of people. They will not take advantage of you, and you have the same hobby, whatever it is.
That's what I'm actually gonna be. It's very funny because I was talking to, I won't say his name because he's a client, maybe doesn't want me to mention his name. So, and he was talking, so he kept talking about agriculture. So he was like, so that makes a lot of sense. So for someone like him, it's easier to go with other farmers. It's easier for him to be able, because they can talk the same language. I'm not an agricultural person. That's not. I wish I was. But again, now that you're talking about it will be easier for me to have him just integrate with an agricultural people. It's easier. So it's easier to make a community from the locals if you're passionate about.
Yes. At least then you have like there's something you have in common.
Yes.
At least then you see like they also like are doing their activities in terms of farming. I met also a couple of farmers, local farmers, foreign farmers, whatever here. And then you see they are not like trying to take advantage. It's more about like I have a network. You have the product and you have a network. What do you need? I can help you with this. What I need, you help me with this, basically. So you exchange and you support each other with this. Makes it easier instead of like, let's say, I don't know, but you get the point. Point.
I get the point. Somewhere else has to mention. I know people are not religious, but like my church. They usually support a lot of expat communities so that they can put them in places where they are. It's more easier for them to assimilate. Anyway, now that you're talking about business, let's talk about business in Kenya, because I actually thought when you actually, I remember you asking like, are you a digital nomad? Because it kind of sounds you're a young person in tech doing business in Kenya. So what's that like for someone who's looking, who is in Germany, who is in the States? I'm like, I'm a techie, I'm a marketer, I'm trying to do my online stuff. Can I just come and do it there?
So now let's say, just to give the backstory of it as well, now my stuff is mainly online, but when I came here first, I also had the vision of like moving stuff on the ground. So I started actually selling on Jumia some stuff because I had experience in e-commerce. I made my first couple of sales. I think I made my first 10 sales, but I knew e-commerce, but I didn't know the product research part of it. So I made the mistake and picked the wrong product with like small profitability, so small margins back then. Now I know more about it. So I tried this one. I tried to work with a lot of local businesses in terms of marketing. I found a lot of challenges with this. So I tried a couple of things, import, export. I was figuring out what to bring to the country, to export from here, whatever. So I tried to first off do business locally on the ground. But at some point I ran out of, like, let's say, you need to make money to support yourself for longer, to still figure out what you want to do here. So when I at some point was like, okay, let me first secure my income with my digital stuff. I secured myself, and now I have much more peace. Let's say I can now figure out what I want to do on the ground. And in this time, I think later on I started working with 2 startups here, as I told you earlier. And they were also Kenyan based, had their main base in Kenya, and I was supporting them also with marketing, with like their business development stuff and whatever it is. So slowly I have more freedom and flexibility because I don't have to stress about like the income I need to make, and now to slowly figure out. And I'm still figuring out because I still want to have an impact here on the ground and do something here. But let's say now, at least I have less stress in terms of like now I need to, because it's tough if you come to a new country, you come to a new market. Also for everyone who comes. things are very different.
Yeah.
The customs are very
It's
different.
different. It's very different.
The way, everything. The way of doing business, the way of working with locals, everything is not as easy as you think, you know.
Yes.
And what I learned from this, I also had conversations with other people, like say from Turkey, from different countries who do business here in Kenya.
Yeah.
And I think in the end, what they tell me too, and what I see too, is like you need to first of understand properly how the market works. Because let's say I come here on my first day and I had so many ideas. I looked at my ideas after 2 months, 3 months. I was like, no, they're nonsense.
Yeah,
They're nonsense.
It's not going to work. Yeah.
No one is going to use this. You know, no one is going to use it. So you need to understand the market, take a matatu.
Yeah.
Talk to the locals. Maybe try some things out.
Yes.
Just spend time here.
Yeah.
And this will make it easier, you know. Yeah. But if you just to the question you asked as well. Sorry. To the question you asked. If you want to come as a digital nomad, first off to see, I think Kenya just launched an official digital nomad visa.
Yeah.
It's not, I think you cannot apply for it yet, but it's
in the works.
It's in the works. So this is one way to come, but also maybe come for the first 3 months as a German, as a European, as a whatever. Yeah. You can come 6 months without problems.
Yeah.
Stay 3 to 6 months
and then
figure out how everything works. Look at the things, talk to the locals. If I want to do e-commerce, I meet people from Jumia. If I want to do real estate, I meet people like you. I come, I ask you the questions. You can help me to start, and you win, I win. Whatever it is, you understand first. Yeah. Because I met also people that like brought money, invested here, but in the end they didn't take enough time to understand what they need. You know, because people. I don't know. You don't need stuff sometimes. You know, the market is here not. It's partially for luxury, but like most of the stuff you can bring is mainly. Simple things, and this will improve the market, and that's what they actually are looking for, you know? Yeah. So,
but I kind of feel, if I was to advise someone, is you need to come with your, whatever you're doing there, if you're going to be doing it as an online, that would work very well. So you have an income there, and then you're staying here. That works very well.
This one is the easiest,
There's a guy who's called Kenganda channel, you know him, Osheduk, and he was telling people like, in Africa, you need to stay like 2 to 3 to 4 years to really understand the market.
Yeah, minimum.
Before you even start saying, I want to do something.
Yes,
like you really need to understand because the dynamics are very different. You have very good ideas, but you can have a very good idea and it will not work. And you like, why is it not working? So the system is totally...
Yeah, it's different. Adjust to it first. That's what I mean. Like it took me also a long time to understand this. You know, the first year I was like trying to push my ideas onto this market. It doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. Like it can work, but it would take you a very long time. But I say in the end, like just figuring out making my income like digitally online. Yeah. The best way I can make money, and now to slowly even get more into the culture and see more and more opportunities here on the ground, and slowly putting things together to be like, okay, now this is what I think will make money at some point, you know.
But there are the system ignores us. There are a lot of challenges, but are there really opportunities?
Yes, there are. I mean, I met so many people that do, like, let's say now for the foreigner's perspective, I met endless people that come here for business. My main network is also people who do business here, not UN and stuff. So they are actually like doing very unique businesses. I met let's say there's a guy who brings electric boarders. So it's cheaper for the border drivers. They don't have to pay fuel. They can bring the battery, and they change something for the everyday people. They make it easier. They make it cheaper. No fuel expenses for you.
Yes.
There are guys, let's say, as I told you, that are building the first manufacturing plant for a certain product here in East Africa. So there's a lot of potential. You just need to figure out where the demand is. And let's say the guy who builds a production plant, he told me how he got this idea. And he told me at some point he was at a bar or something with a friend, and he was complaining about how much the product price here was. So then, because let's say there was about protein powder, and the protein powder is like just very expensive here in Kenya.
Yes. Processed stuff in Kenya is expensive.
It comes from the US, comes from Europe, from the UK, wherever. It's very expensive. And then he was like, I need it, but it's so nonsense expensive. I can buy it, but it could be half the price. So this is how this started, because they spent time here and they saw the need, they saw the demand, they saw the problem that is, and you can start solving it. In the end, there's a lot to do.
You have to think of it. Africans will not buy anything unless it's a need. Is that true?
They did. I mean, they also spend money on luxury. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's like just the luxury part is, let's say, the population is smaller. you have
There's a
maybe
small middle
1, 2,
class,
3,
yeah.
5% of people that can purchase like this.
Mm.
But I would say the biggest part of the population is the ones that are like, let's say, spending much
Less.
money.
Yes.
So if you can cater for them, let's say a solution like M-Pesa is amazing,
Yes.
because it helps the whole
So,
country.
Yeah.
It helps the villages, it helps the
Yeah.
people that are like, I don't know, living in the middle of nowhere, they still can use M-Pesa.
Yeah.
I mean, even these are like revolutionary, but these are also ideas that came from somewhere, you know?
Yes.
And what are problems you can solve maybe for these kind of
That's
people?
the smallest person there.
Yeah.
If you can sort him out,
Yeah.
you have a chance.
Yes. I was even watching, just to give another thought, I was watching a couple of days back, I forgot his name, but I think he's the youngest billionaire here in Africa.
No, the Tanzanian guy.
Tanzanian guy, yes. I was watching a documentary about his
Is
life.
Mohammed.
Mohammed something, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how he makes his money is basically just with fast moving consumer goods. So he's making soap, he's making noodles, he's making matches.
Everything that is consumed by the local person, he makes
Yes,
it.
by every single person on the ground, from the ground up. And this is how he became the richest person, I think, on the African continent, youngest billionaire on the African continent. And I mean, these are things, maybe as a foreigner, they are tough to get a feeling for, because I'm not sure if I come from Europe, I don't want to sell matches or something, because you don't understand why, for instance, you know. But also for foreigners, you can do a lot of import-export businesses, because I know Kenya exports a lot of avocados, fruits, different products. You can import, Kenya country needs a lot of products. So in the end, there's a lot you just need to look for these things.
And you need to be here to really, and you need to take your time.
Yes.
Don't come looking for money here. You really need to make your money there, come here.
Yes.
And then now just think through. There's actually a guy who's I'm talking about, is Jalen.
Yeah.
I don't think he's sure. And he was asking, I was like, how is agriculture? I'm like, there is agriculture here, but what we need is tech agriculture. Like stuff people can't see, but you think can be done. Do you say that's a good advice?
Yes, I mean, I know a startup even here from Kenya. There's one in I think Zambia or Zimbabwe, I'm not sure. Need to see. I think they're from Lusaka. And they're also offering tech agriculture. There's like, for instance, there's, you know, the marketplace Jumia.
Yeah.
They do something similar, but they connect with every single farmer.
Yes.
And let's say you have your crops and you cannot sell them, but you have like a lot of, let's say you have 1 ton of avocado, but you can't sell it. This marketplace, for instance, helps you to connect you with the right buyer, for instance. So like supporting, because the local farmers, they do produce, they have the capacity, but let's say they cannot reach sometimes the target audience or like the target market, and they have to throw out a lot of stuff. Or like just to make the process more efficient. I heard from a startup like a couple of days back as well, they use drone techniques right now it's just for bigger farmers, because it's quite expensive, but they're lowering the costs. They use drone techniques to fly over the farmers' fields.
Yes.
This drone can analyze which crop needs pesticides and which doesn't, to be more efficient, to be cheaper. To be quicker with stuff, and they know like which one they can already like farm or like take from the fields and stuff. So tech like these solutions, sometimes it takes long, because of you need to educate sometimes like the farmers, the smaller farmers.
Yes.
But this has potential, because you make it for them more efficient, cheaper, easier.
Yes.
Just the understanding of the tech part is hard. But there is potential as well. There's a lot of potential.
Let's talk about the challenges. Challenges where there's nowhere that is perfect. Nairobi.
Yeah, every country.
Let me start with the one that is usually the biggest one. Are the power blackouts in Kenya as bad as people really? As like the way Africa is given a really bad.
No, I would say I was in Uganda. Uganda's worse.
Yeah.
And
we export actually electricity from Uganda. That's so funny.
Yeah. Oh,
so we export electricity from Uganda and Ethiopia, and they usually have worse blackouts than Kenya. I don't know how that stuff works.
Yeah, but maybe it's about the network they have built there or something.
Yes.
Because I met a South African company, they were building out the networks here in Kenya as well.
Yeah.
But let's say no, it's to come to the question is it happens. It happens every now and then. Sometimes we have 1 or 2 days without power, but this is very rare.
I know 2 days.
Yeah, sometimes when like heavy rains are here.
Oh yeah, when it's like a infrastructure sort of damage.
Yeah, then everything is down. The whole country
that's
can be
okay.
Down. This happens. You get used to it, and in general, if it's a couple of hours, 2-3 hours, the problem is just sometimes I work from home, and sometimes it takes time for the landlord to turn on the generator. This is a bit challenging sometimes.
You have a generator here, right?
Yeah, but sometimes it takes a while for him to turn it on and stuff. So this is. But let's say at the end of the day, it's not as frustrating
as people might put it.
Yeah.
There are contingencies you can put around power backup, that sort of stuff. If you're gonna be a digital nomad, then you really need to have internet and just have power backup.
Yeah.
It's much cheaper because for most, electricity probably goes for an hour or two, and I think on power backup and stuff that can work. The problem is it goes out for like a whole day, which is very rare.
Yeah, it's rare.
So what are other challenges that you, as an expert, you've experienced in Nairobi?
Yeah, let's say power in the beginning was the problem, like figuring out things in general,
Yeah.
Because when you come here first off, I said, like, my journey was you pay more rent than you have to.
Yeah.
Then you pay more for groceries than you have to. Pay more for
that's
parking
good.
than you
Yeah,
have
that's
to.
what we're gonna talk about.
You know, so you pay for everything. You go on the market and shop, you pay more than you should pay. You know, you're supposed to pay. So there's like, I think all these small different like things that happen on an everyday basis.
Yeah.
Where you're like,
they're adding up,
and slowly at some point you start figuring out instead of paying for parking 500, I just have to pay 50. You understand, Like
so you know. So the parking guys is to charge you 50, but 500 bucks.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Then you start to like negotiate. You pay still more than you have to.
Like there's still.
Yeah. So
they'll give me 50 shillings and then they'll ask you 500 bucks.
Yeah. That's the thing. You need to understand like all these small challenges, like in the end of the day. So but it will come over time. But what I think now, like even when I would move to like a city, like from Germany, from the city where I used to live to a different city very far away, it's also different. You need to. It's not like this different, but you need to figure out where you can get your groceries fairly priced. You need to figure out where you can get your mechanic. You need to figure out like also different things,
What's the highest thing that you've been really overcharged? You're like, wow, how did I even pay that?
Let me think. I'm not sure. Honestly, I cannot tell you like what it is because it was in the beginning when I would, let's say, bought some souvenirs for my family. I paid more.
Yeah. That's souvenirs. You're bound to be.
Yeah. But now it's like no, I pay maybe 100 shillings for this, and they start at 5,000 or something, So really now I don't
like
play,
those bangles.
Yeah, I don't play this game. Give me 500 or I leave. Okay, I leave and then they come. Okay, just come by.
There's a secret. Let me tell you. Okay, tourist guides look somewhere else. So, like tourist guides when they go and buy stuff. So if I go with you and show you somewhere, they usually even the tourist driver usually gets a
commission. Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, just to tell you, just go on your own.
Yeah. Just figure it out. But. There's this couple I love. They should be paying me because I usually put their name every time. It's called Saida and Jermaine.
Oh yeah, I saw.
Yeah. So they usually, and I was really shocked when they said, and even I asked someone, Rochelle, she was like, they spend $400 on groceries. So I was like, let me try and understand what groceries for you means. For me, groceries it means vegetables, food.
Yeah.
This is not other stuff, yeah? Yeah, not shopping or not
groceries,
just groceries, stuff you're gonna eat.
Yeah.
So they spend $400, and that's 2 people per month. I was like, $400 is 50,000.
60K even.
660.
Almost.
That's rent in a nice area, right?
Yeah.
That is over. That's a bit expensive. How much is your groceries?
I cannot give you the exact figure for it. But to be honest, I got more comfortable now because I'm now ordering most of my stuff from Carrefour or something. So I know I pay a bit more.
Oh man, brother, don't tell me you're paying for. Oh, come on, Marvin.
No, I'm not paying 400. No, not 400. Because I also still buy like spinach for like it's 20 bob to get a bunch of spinach, to get like cabbage for like 30 bob or something from there. Sometimes I go there's much less than 400. But the thing is, we split everything here in the house. So sometimes my friend orders, sometimes I order. So I'm not sure like what exact the figure is.
But it would, if you think about, if you're ordering online, it will come definitely.
No, it comes quite high, but not to $400. Like not per person, not for me. No, it's much less. And I said I'm also buying a lot of local processed stuff, like local produced food and stuff like this. At least from the supermarket. From whatever Food Plus, Naivas, Carrefour sometimes. But let me give you a figure of like maybe. Might be still a lot for local or like for you tell me, but maybe around like per person I could, or like for me I could spend like 100 120,
That's very
150 mark.
that's
yeah.
very okay.
Yeah.
But you don't go to local markets, do you?
Yeah,
don't?
sometimes. The thing is, it's also
It's
time.
a convenience.
Yeah, it's all convenience and time, because when I now want to get like bananas, potatoes and stuff, it would take me in 30 minutes to go there. It would take me time to negotiate or like to pick my stuff from there.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm just mainly working at home, so for me it's convenience. This time I save, I can do more work.
Yeah.
But I do sometimes when I like pass the market or something, I just stop and get my bananas from the shop.
How much do you buy a banana?
10 bob per banana.
Oh, okay, that's very okay.
I get local prices now, yeah?
Yeah,
I get them, yeah.
So me, I buy at the local markets.
Yeah.
I buy 5 bananas for 20 shillings.
Oh, 5 bob. Okay, now I can
That's
negotiate
5
again,
bob.
yeah?
Yeah, that's 5 bob.
Yeah, okay.
And if I buy more, like for 100 shillings, you'll just. In fact, they might even get bad just because they're. So that's a bunch.
Okay, gotcha.
Mangoes, they should be going for like 10 shillings.
Yeah.
But I get them at even 10 shillings.
Yeah, okay.
Which is really, really.
Well, that's super price.
Yeah.
Super
Avocado, how much do you buy avocado for?
0, yeah?
I forgot.
Yeah, for free, you know? See, maybe you even spending more money than me, yeah?
So 400 is, yes, but if you're buying it online, if you come to Kenya, it is okay to buy stuff online. I mean, they also need business, yeah? But when you take time and someone who's coming here on a budget, go to the local market, but it's gonna be a little bit hectic. You've been to a local market?
Yeah, many times.
Properly local, like
no, I've been
with mud boots and stuff.
Yeah, no, not mud boots, but I've been to also not just food market. Also, there's a toy market, the clothing market, I think.
Yeah,
I've been there.
That's very expensive, bruh.
No,
I'm not hating for you guys, but it is.
Yeah. I just went to look, you know, we went to look around, negotiate a bit, like bought something just to see how everything is. So I've been to the local markets as well, like
Gikomba. Yeah, that's when you
Gikomba. Which one was it again? This was not the metal one. Which one was it again?
Gikomba is downtown Nairobi, and then how do you
just further?
Yeah.
I've been there. Yeah,
really hectic. Yeah. Like that's even for me. I'm like, wow. Bro.
Yeah, if you get used to it, it's okay. I bought some like what is it called, glasses for kitchen stuff. Sometimes.
Now
for me,
you're not more cheaper than
not these ones, but other ones like for someone else, and like said at some point it's okay. I even plan to go to buy some fabrics. There's Nairobi fabrics, I think, also like local location where they only sell fabrics, I think. Let my clothes be tailored from there. It's still cheaper than buying clothes somewhere, you know.
Place
and
like
nicer.
Easily.
Yeah, easily, and it's still nicer quality of clothes and like, you pay,
and
like,
you're supporting like that's a local person
in
the industry.
Yeah.
For someone who is coming to Kenya, how much would they budget if they want to furnish their whole house? You're living in a place, you're paying, let's say $350, $400, $500.
Yeah.
How much would it? Because there's actually someone who's asking me like, how much would I furnish it?
That's a good question, because when I moved into this apartment, I came with someone else.
Yes.
And I was taking care of different things than he did, so like he was also doing most of the figuring out things to get and stuff. So I don't know the exact price for everything we spent, but let's say if it's $350, I think you have 2-bedroom in the apartment. It's hard to tell the number, to be honest. I don't want to give any false number. Let's say I think for a 5-bedroom or something we spent a lot, because we had to buy 5 beds, we had to buy 5 desks, we have to get a lot of stuff here. So I think we spent around like $7,000 or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
7,
8.
Yes.
8K, let's say, dollars.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That makes
And we still bought used stuff, like a lot of used stuff from like Facebook Marketplace from other people that moved. So good quality stuff. We also have the gym down there. We also bought the stuff, and so we have like everything. Let's say 7 to 8K for a 5-bedroom apartment. But you could also go for less in the end.
Which makes sense if you're living in New York and you're paying $3,000.
Yeah.
And this is stuff you're not going to buy them again if you're staying here for the long term.
Yeah, correct.
It's a one-off.
Yes.
So it still makes a lot of sense. So Marvin, where do you, as you are winding, where do you usually travel to? Because you have a car.
Yes.
So how is it driving in Nairobi? For me, that's usually the first time. I know you're an extra foreigner, and you have a car. I'm like, no, that guy, he's lived here long enough. So how is that?
For me, driving is normal now. I said it feels the same way when I go now to Germany, where it was for 20 years or 23 years or something. It feels the same way driving there than here now for me, you know? Just the beginning and stuff. And now even I took a bunch of road trips. I went like, I don't know, countless times to Naivasha. I went to Samburu is in the north. Samburu.
Oh,
I drove all the way.
Because that road is really nice, yeah.
It's nice. I went to Lamu recently. I drove all the way, drove to Lamu, drove a couple of times to Mombasa. I drive everywhere, you know. So it's nice. I like driving here.
Yeah.
Because it's very beautiful. You have like this. You can do just. Sometimes I see a spot. I be like, let's just drive up the mountain and like we just check out the view from there, you know.
Yeah.
So I think driving is quite easy if you get used to it. The beginning is very stressful.
Yeah.
But at some point.
So you used to matatu overtaking and stuff, and
Yeah.
have you ever been driving in Kenya?
Yeah.
And it's one road. You're overtaking, and there's another car overtaking, and everything is okay. You're like, what?
Yeah.
And this is really normal.
Yes, it's completely normal, especially when you drive to Mombasa or like even like all the
that's
long roads.
That's really bad.
It's bad, yeah. Mombasa road is bad because there it happens like all the time that even trucks are like passing you. Even if you go with like 100 or like 80, whatever you are, every fast you drive, even big trucks are overtaking you.
Yeah.
And then the other one have to go out of the lane, so it's ridiculous nonsense. And then you see so many trucks like laying on the side of the road like broken, so you think was is worth it, you know, like at least take 10 minutes longer and like don't do stuff like this, you know. But it happens, but you get used to everything, you know. It's okay, you get used to, you also start overtaking. Just I wouldn't recommend driving at night if you're new here, you know. Driving at night.
That's no, there's no need.
I do sometimes. If I go to Mombasa, sometimes I started my trip at 8 p.m. Came there in the morning and stuff. But I think it makes it 10 times more dangerous, especially if you're not used to driving here.
Yeah, you really need to be like you really need to be careful.
Yeah, better drive in the daytime. It's easier.
You can see stuff. How is Mombasa for you? Do you love Mombasa? Do you love going to Mombasa?
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
What's your favorite? With the exception of Nairobi, what's your favorite place in other places that you really go to?
There are many. I think the city outside of Nairobi I was the most in was Naivasha. Yeah, but not really in the city most of the time in the night.
I know that stretch, that 20-kilometer stretch with the hotels on.
No, I don't even care about. I was at the Mount Longonot. I climbed all the way up.
Okay.
We went to the Hell's Gate a couple of times. Also swim in the hot springs there.
Yeah.
So for me, I like more the nature part of everything. So when I go somewhere, I want to stay, let's say, on the tea farms where I don't have any people.
Yeah.
So it's quiet, it's peaceful, it's beautiful. But I also went a couple of times to Mombasa. I went to Diani, I went to Kilifi, Malindi, Watamu, Lamu. So I tried to Isiolo, like all the way up in the north.
You've been to Isiolo?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's the neck of my hood, my brother.
Yeah?
On the edge of our place. We have a place on the edge of Meru, Isiolo.
Yeah, okay. I went there. I think Isiolo, then there's Samburu if you go further.
Yes, you go Samburu.
Yes. Yeah. So I like just to explore. I want to go also to the what's called in English, the equator. Is it the equator in English?
In Nanyuki?
Yes, it's Nanyuki, the equator. Yeah, you see this just to explore everything, you know.
Nanyuki is my favorite place in Kenya. That's if I was ever to retire, that would be the place.
Because?
I don't know. I don't know. I can't I just love Nanyuki.
Yeah. Okay.
The nature is slightly. It's not very cold. It's
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, I passed it a couple of times when driving summer.
Yeah.
Very beautiful. Very nice.
Yeah.
So driving here is beautiful. If you come here, stay a long time.
Yeah.
The car is nice to just go all the way through the country, you know.
Yeah.
There's so much nature you can check out. So much history. So many interesting small places, cultural places.
Yeah.
So really love driving here. And this, maybe even thinking of a road trip from Nairobi to Burundi, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi. So coming back there, you know, I like driving through these
other places.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I love traveling, man.
Yeah, it's nice.
We can go with you hopefully.
We see. It's just in my head now, but let's see when it will be.
All right. I'll take you to Meru. You know Meru. You've been to Meru? No, because you usually go with Nairobi, go to Nanyuki, and then Isiolo, that route.
Yeah.
But there's another route around Mount Kenya. So Meru, Embu.
Okay, no, this one I haven't used.
You need to go. Very, very nice views, very steep. It's like going to Kisii. I don't know if you've been to Kisii, but kind of looks similar.
It's on my list, but I haven't been there.
Yeah, it's kind of similar. I'll take what another place. I'll take you to a church as well. I'm a church person, so guys, I know where you. Did you go to church? I don't even know why I'm asking, but not really.
To be honest, not really.
Yeah.
Like my family is religious.
Yeah.
I'm not going too much, but I was a couple of times in like different churches here. There's like the Orthodox church from the Eritrean
Oh.
Ethiopian culture.
Yeah.
I was in a French Madagascar church. I was also in a local Kenyan church, Chinese church here to just see, get soak in everything, you know.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
I'll show us. It's very.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. It's nice. It's always exciting there. Stuff is happening.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So, Marvin, anything to wrap it up, and then my videos are usually like that. If you're waiting for something very structured, I'm sorry, but anyway.
No, don't worry. For me, I think I said a lot of things. Yeah, and I hope it will help you guys like to move and to find your starting points and first touch points here. I think yesterday was nice to talk to you, and like I'm also happy that you are giving this kind of platform from a local perspective, not just from a foreign perspective.
Yeah.
Because you have maybe different kinds of lenses on than I or like other ones have. So it's nice that we can share and help other ones to settle in nice as well here.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad to be here. Yeah. Thank you so much for the conversation.
Thank
you.
Cheers, man. I've learned a lot, my brother.
Yeah, that's good. Me too.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. See you next time. Yeah.